It's your girl D Rose turned ham, and it's the Chronicles, baby. Y'all, when I first started the Chronicles about 5 years ago, I was posting them directly to my Facebook page. And then I got smart and I started posting them on my YouTube page. I've always had a YouTube channel, but I never in a million years thought about making it the way that I'm making it now. So now what I do is I record and I make it happen the way I should have been doing in the beginning. So please make sure if you come across this video and you like what I'm putting out, go ahead and subscribe. Y'all, I used to chew gum. People were mesmerized for some reason. They love their tongue. I would chew gum and talk. Look at some of my old videos. So to commemorate the old Chronicles, I put in a fresh piece of extra gum. Minty, no sugar. And I'm going to talk with this gum, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. I'm getting ready to do my thing. But I did a video yesterday about publishing and some of the things that I have been recognizing over the past couple of months due to the coronavirus. Like I stated, individuals are channeling their innermost thoughts and feelings of their journey with the coronavirus. They got all this time on their hands to do whatever it is that they need to do, accomplish some goals, write some books. And in the midst of writing books, people are either going to do one or two things. They're going to research out, or they're going to want somebody else to do it for them once all of this is over, said and done. So if you want to invest your money into a great company, which is the Raspberry Rose Publishing Company, all of its proceeds go back into the Raspberry Rose Foundation, which our mission is to positively impact the mind, body, and soul of African American women and girls struggling with low self-esteem, with a major focus on HIV and AIDS prevention. So basically what I do, if you look at any of my other videos, I go out and share my life before HIV, after AIDS. I also educate on HIV and AIDS as well. Share my personal contacts with the disease, almost succumbing to the disease, being brought back to life, enjoying life, and doing all of those things that almost didn't happen because of the disease. So it didn't take my life, it didn't take my strive, and it didn't take my ambition. So here I am also facilitating workshops. I do online classes, and I also am a certified master life coach where I specialize in personal growth and literary coaching. So for those that are struggling with how to write, how to put a story together, the art of storytelling is a workshop that I enjoy doing it, and I'm doing a half-off special on that as well. So I have my contact information at the end of the video, and if you're interested in being a part and sharing what your dream is to becoming a published author, I can do exactly what it is that you need me to do by coaching you, or hey, giving you what you need in terms of publishing your book to print. And of course, ebook as well. So I wanted to talk to you guys about editing. Why editing is so important. Everybody didn't do well in math, and a lot of people didn't do well in English. So if you're not a master of English, if you're not a, do good when it comes down to meshing your words and elaborating and knowing what a comma splice is, where to put a semicolon versus a colon, whether you're moving in the wrong direction with the commas, because sometimes people can overdo commas instead of just putting a period there and redoing the sentence and making it something else. A lot of times people don't want to invest in editors because they feel like it costs too much. There are some very expensive editors, y'all. Editing can cost anywhere from, $3 to $4 per page up to $10,000. Yes, editors get paid big money, but those that paying the $10,000 plus, they got big money to spend. Okay, and not to say that the $3 to $4 editors and even $5 a page editors are not great. They are wonderful as well. So, but the most important part is to get your book edited. But here's some tips that I want to give to you in regards to making the work easy for your editor. I have two things. I look at my my clients, first maybe 2 or 3 chapters, and maybe one can really tell me whether or not it will be a soft edit or a hard edit. A soft edit is basically, well, okay, we're just going to do, the actual putting together and making sure. You see, when people put books out like that, you don't know what's going on. That's why you need an editor. An editor in a soft edit. Well, just looking at grammar, they're just looking at punctuation, and boom. Because you're a good writer. You just might have slipped up. You might have misspelled a word right there. You might have didn't put a word right there. But a hard edit means you're going line for line. You're going line for line, and you're going to go line for line in a soft edit, but you can pretty much gauge whether or not how easy it's going to be or how complex it's going to be. Regardless of what it's going to be, the editor can get it done. So here's some tips about what you can do before you send your book off to the editor. Okay, so the first thing you need to do after you've written your book, you put all this energy, your love, the late nights, you want to put that book down for at least a little bit. Rest your manuscript. I heard on an online source that's called The Right Life, WRITE. The Right Life said, from a quote, not that the story need to be long, but it will take a long while to make it short. Because sometimes we can write, and it makes no sense. And it doesn't take a whole lot of words to make sense. However, it does take the right words for it to compel sense into your readers so that they can be motivated and engaged in your project. So when you finish typing the last word of your masterpiece, because you want this to be your masterpiece, you want to set it aside for a few days because you've already gone there, done this and done that. So if you can do it, set it aside for a week or more. One thing that Stephen King did, he said that he places his finished drafts in a drawer for at least 6 weeks before even looking at it again. So when you do that, you're at the opportunity of not being so focused on what you've already done. And then you're adding stuff. And before you know it, you're going through your book again and you're still writing instead of editing. Listen to your manuscript. This is a quote. So the writer who breathes more words than he needs is making a choice for the reader who reads. That's by Dr. Seuss. Hearing your words spoken makes mistakes glaringly obvious. So when you're able to sit down and read your manuscript without making any changes, you can look at it and say, hey, at some point I realize I can take notes while I read to make sure that you're doing what you need to do in terms of eliminating the obvious, and if you see something that needs a little bit more elaboration, then you can work on that as well. If you're a Mac user, you can click the Apple logo at the top of your screen and select system preferences and click accessibilities. Then click speech. Choose a system voice and speaking rate you can tolerate. Then select selected text when the key is pressed. If you want to change the keyboard combination, click change key and follow the directions. I prefer option ESC plus ESC. Once you enable your preferred short key, simply highlight any text within any program that you want to hear read out loud. So instead of you reading, you can hear it being read back to you. So you're listening. And another way to do it, you can turn on your video camera and then read a chapter to your video camera as if you're already presenting yourself to an audience of your favorite fans, your fan favorites, and you're giving them a first chapter glimpse at what it is they'll be getting from your book. So when you do this, you play it back and you can hear yourself. This does 2 things. It lets you know how you are as a presenter, but it also lets you know what you're sounding like as a writer. So this is another way of listening to your manuscript. Search for troubling words. Mark Twain said, writing is easy. All you have to do is cross out the wrong words. A lot of times we write effect when it needs to be effect. Further instead of father. Sometimes it needs to be less instead. put fewer. That instead of who. There are, and there. Listen, you know, we see that meme all the time on Facebook. Whom, and then and then. When to put those word choices. So we have to consider what those troubling words might be. And this is a great way to start on the most common words that are used instead of second guessing. Make sure you allow Google, the dictionary, to be your friend. And also, look up businesses, y'all. Look up businesses. Just because it's spelled the way you hear it, it might not be the way their signage says it. So respect people, businesses as well when you're writing and adding in places, people, and things. Remove or replace your crutch words. Dorothy Parker says, I can't write 5 words, but that I changed 7. Do you know the top 10 words you use more frequently in your manuscript? Look at the words you use the most. Because is one of those. Then, so. A lot of times, a lot of my clients love the word so. So we want to shut that down. Remove all double space at the end of your sentences. Elmore Leonard said, I try to leave out the parts that people skip. So remove all the double spaces at the end of your sentences. Search for problematic punctuation. F. Scott Fitzgerald. An exclamation point is like laughing at your own joke. Are you a comma chameleon, adapting the otherwise innocent punctuation mark to do work it was never meant to do? That's what I was talking about in terms of putting a comma when it really can be the end of a sentence and starting anew. So search for that problematic punctuation. Run spell check or use an automated editing program. That also works. Subscribe to the Chicago Manual of Style. Stephen King says to write is human, to edit is divine. When an author returns your manuscript, they might cite particular sections of Chicago Manual of Style. If you're unfamiliar with this Bible of the publishing industry, you might not be aware of how precisely the editor made a certain change in your manuscript. And then you want to make sure that when you get editors that they are, what is the word I'm looking for? God, I can't believe I got a brain fart. But they know about your genre. They know about your genre. They've done it before. Format accordingly. The Real World was a sprawling mess of a book in need of a good editor. That's by Jasper Forday. While preferred styles may differ from one editor to the next, you can show your professionalism by formatting your manuscript to conform to the industry standards. And in order to do so, you have to know so, right? That's what I'm here for. I teach those as well. Don't over edit. That's what the editor is for. C.J. Sherrill said, it is perfectly okay to write garbage as long as you edit brilliantly. If you write garbage and you can't edit, it's still going to be garbage, right? So with all of that being said, I got these tips from The Right Life online. This is so important. It's so important to have your manuscript edited because it speaks a lot, number one, about you as a writer. It speaks a lot about your publisher and your editor who will be on the content page of your copyright page, citing who the publisher is, who the author is, who the book designer is, who the editor is, and you want to make sure that you got the best of the best. If not, they're going to talk about you. I hope I did a good service to you on today. It's your girl D Rose Turnham, and it's the Chronicles, baby. And remember, I love you for real. And if anyone says otherwise, they lie. Peace.